Okay. Alrighty. Oh. Now, I guess y'all can hear us right now. We're trying something new, so you'll see us in a minute.
I don't think our voices are coming through now.
Yep. I guess y'all can hear us right now. We're trying something new, so you'll see us in a minute. Yeah. There was a trick here that was supposed to be done. I guess y'all can hear us right now. We're trying something new, so you'll see us in a minute. The fact that you can hear us. There was a trick here that was supposed to be done.
I love the way you set it up.
Okay, so you see our ER, you see our, okay, that's gone. Okay, so you see our. All right, hold on a second. Let me do something via. Okay, why are we getting the feedback? Oh, we are here. How did that happen? Oh, I know why. I stopped minimizing. Oh, we are here. How did that happen? Oh, I know why. I stopped. One more thing to test right quick, y'all. See if that feedback will go away. One more thing to test right quick, y'all. Nope, that ain't the way to do it. Feedback will go away. One more thing to test right quick, y'all. I wonder why that's happening. Nope, that ain't the way to do it. So without further ado, I'm getting rid of my mic. I will stop it. Nope, that ain't the way to do it. So without further ado, I'm getting rid of my mic. I will stop it. Nope, that didn't do it either. So apparently we got some feedback here. Can you hear? Okay. Oh wait, it's gone. Nope, that didn't do it either. So apparently we got some feedback here. How are you sounding, Beth? Oh wait, it's gone.
Back on talk.
I don't know.
I can.
How are you sounding?
Substack.
I can hear that. So
There was feedback then too.
Trying to see. Let me see if this kills it. I can hear that. Did it go away? So
there was feedback then too.
Trying to see. Let me see if this kills it.
Some lag. The feedback is lagging.
Did it go away? No, it didn't go away. So by the way, hi everybody. Just welcome to our this is an experiment anyway. So
the intro looked really cool, Daryle. Thank you for all of that work on that. It looked awesome.
We got to be able to. I see that we are. I see that we have the whatchamacallit. So, I know what I got to do. Turn it down on my monitor. Maybe that makes all the difference in the world. But now I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
All right. And I think that the feedback is gone.
That's because I turned down my tablet.
Oh, we got it. Excellent, excellent. In Substack world, we get better at this every week. And Daryle is just like the tech genius with our little
brother. Hi, everybody. We still just got one person there, but everybody else will see it later on and all the fun and excitement that we had today.
Can you zoom past our tech issues into the conversation?
We're go and by the way, thank you for the props on the countdown and all of that. I didn't create that, by the way. I just stole that from YouTube somewhere, but
it looks super cool.
So yeah, we're all, and yes, we have the and as you notice, we got the little bit of logo here and all of that. We had that, and but for the most part, you're going to see us and whatever videos I find on online here that we want to put on. I'm using OBS, and I'm really having fun with it right now. For those who don't know salt work like that, if you do like streaming and things like that, you know OBS, and I'm really having a ball with it right now. But the thing is, I have to I right now I only know how to practice the live stream on Substack live. So we just got to do these things, and I'm whatever, whatever.
I think
So
we're rocking and rolling. You know, from where we started just like a month ago, it's amazing. And both of us were like total newbies, and we figured it out. And I'm gonna check out OBS over the holiday. I want to play with that.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna have and we're gonna be pros by after a year.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be pros. We are just burning stuff.
I mean, I found this like studio mode or something like that where you can fade out, and I gotta learn how to do all that. But all for you, everyone. I mean,
For democracy.
Yes, for democracy. Yes. Where's my flag? I don't have a flag behind me. Maybe I'll get a flag next year. Next.
You're back here, Lady Liberty.
Well, actually, what I am going to probably have. I mean, I used to have a bunch of flags behind me in this office, which, by the way, we have saved. Really, we have saved the off the office. I got learned to slow it down when I'm trying to talk.
Incredible fundraising effort over the last it's really been in a week, hasn't it, Daryle, that you've raised of this?
Two. I mean, we really started about this month. We was told that we needed to come up with $10,000, and people just been. It was slow, and I was worried that we had to move all of the stuff, including the AK that's over there right now, that needs to come out of this office now. But I just realized I brought that over here today. I had but I was in a bad in some sorts. I told you, I've been going back and forth to the hospital, and I have not been able to take care of everything that I needed to take care of, and it all came to a head this month. We are finally we're almost. I should say we are almost at our goal. But we're not there yet. But we are out of the woods right now. I mean, basically, we just need a couple of $1,000, and we're golden. And then it's just trying to just maintain from then on.
I have a couple things to say about this, Daryle.
Sure.
The reason that OPP got in this bind is because you have carried this work almost completely by yourself on your back for years and years and years. And when you got sick, there was nobody to carry it. And I think the reason the fundraising was so successful is because people recognize that you did that. And they are happy to have the chance to support you because they know how vital your work's been.
And I want to say straight up, and I appreciate that, but I do want to say that there are others that have been on board, that have been doing this work. Some folks probably even more dedicated than me that are in the OPP family. And some of them, I mean, I can't mention names without them, without their blessing. I will say, however, that one of them passed on last year. And that was a blow. That was a blow. I mean, I don't want to get into too much publicly about that, but we did lose someone that was close to us, and what makes it so bad is that his wife is also one of the biggest activists within our circles. Both of them were powerful, but he had passed away, and then she is dealing with her health. And again, I can't say too much right now live, but I definitely wanted to just make it clear that I didn't do this alone. And there's also, there's some folks, I've never done this alone.
I think the forming of the board, One People's Project never had a board until last year on the books, and I think the formation of the board comes out of the fact that this work still needs to be done, even if we have a problem ourselves, myself and the others that have not been doing well lately, even if we can't do it. So we wanted to make sure that we that whatever happens, the work is still done. There are people out there that are going to be able to carry the torch, so to speak, you know. and I think we've shown just over the past couple of weeks with everybody coming out that we don't have anything to worry about. So again, I want to thank everybody, but we still need your help. We still need your help, and I just want to basically say, if anybody, you can still you can hook up with us via or if you want to do a donation to One People's Project to make sure that we are completely out of the woods. The website, I just put it up right now, and you can donate there. We also have a GoFundMe for those who want to do it like that as well. And I didn't put that up yet, so let me. I'm gonna put that up while we are talking, because I don't want to just talk about us. We got more to talk about than just how great we are. You know. So
we are Antifascism O.G.
So right now, the GoFundMe right now, that is we right now we got 25. We got 1,250 on in the and it hasn't gotten into the account yet, but we have that, and we are in the process of trying to basically do to boost that up a little bit, and that's this here. And you know what? Let me get rid of that HTTP because people don't look at that anymore. But that's our GoFundMe. If you feel that that's easier for everybody, if that's easier for you, just use that. I'm gonna leave that up while we're talking. I think there's going to be a couple of things that we need to talk about right quick. We should talk about right now, because we are going to have a special show on Sunday.
Yes.
And I believe, and that's at 7:00 Eastern PM.
6. Let me look real fast. I've got it right here. It's going to be at 6 Eastern.
Okay, 6. And basically this is the Prairie Land BS that happened back on, I guess, the 4th of July. We're going to have somebody that's going to interview that is close to the
supporting the defendants as they fight those charges, I think.
Right. And I think we should really just say exactly what's going on right now. Let me see, because I want to make sure we got it right. So I just pulled it up, and hold on.
I've got the National Lawyers Guild.
Yeah, I got that up too. And basically, they were supposed to be All right, I'll just basically say what they say here and bear with me, because as I always tell you, the stroke is kicking my ass, and it really kicks my ass whenever I'm trying to read. So I'm going to be slow about this, but it says on July 4th, a new noise. Beth, could you do this?
Sure. Are you reading from the NLG?
Yes,
Karen?
I am.
Okay, so this is the National Lawyer Guild's press release about it. The National Lawyers Guild, I think, is providing some support to the defendants. On July 4th, a noise demonstration took place outside of the ICE Prairie Land Detention Center in Texas. What was a typical pro-immigrant protest has turned into a massive federal investigation with 16 defendants now facing criminal charges. So they're just outside protesting something, let me skip through here. Community members went to the Prairie Land Immigration Customs Enforcement Detention Center, so a place where they were locking up people in Alvarado, Texas, to rally against ICE's violent and relentless attacks on immigrants and to express solidarity with those imprisoned inside the detention center. There was a planned noise demonstration at the facility where fireworks were used and other loud noises were made. Making noises outside of jails is an extremely common form of protest, extending solidarity to those behind bars. As the rally went on, ICE agents called the local police department. After local police arrived, one officer claimed to have sustained a minor injury to his neck by what the state claims was a gunshot. In response, the government has arrested 16 people, some through raids and traffic stops. Yet through all of the federal government's criminal complaint, only 2 people have been described as alleged shooters. Our guest on Sunday is someone who is working to support those defendants and really just trying to get their story out, I think.
All right. Yeah. So, and we're going to have somebody putting the story out on Sunday. So I'm going to have a link on that just after I get out of here. And we hope to hope to see y'all there. See y'all on Sunday, I should say. It'd be great if y'all can go out there. But we seem to be a lot of places that we need to be. It was a little quiet with the exception of those who are protesting what's going on in D.C. over the summer. But, actually it has been a quiet summer compared to what it could have been, and surprised at that one, too, by the way.
I keep hearing the argument, and I'm really interested in your perception, what your opinion of it is that we shouldn't be out there right now because Donald Trump is looking for his Tiananmen Square moment, his opportunity to pounce on us, and that there's got to be a different form of resistance now, so it's the right thing to not be in the street. What do you think?
Well, the problem now is that if we need a different kind of resistance, we aren't using it. So I think right now there is a degree of frustration. I mean, we had Luis on last week, and he was expressing that kind of frustration. I believe he's going to write something for Idavox, but he's worrying about it being too ticked off because he is Luis Marquez, by the way, and we're going to hype up the book in a couple. But he's frustrated because we really should be out in the streets. There is no such thing as, for those who are over there saying that it's not our fight or whatever. It is now. It is now. It really is. And if we are going to do something other than marching around, which I do agree, we do have to do more than that, then do it. But if you're not, then people are going to come out. And the only thing that I can say is that we are keeping our heads about ourselves, which is a good thing. So Trump doesn't get his tenant miss, that thing that happened years ago. But in any case, I think people are being smart about how they go forward. I mean, the frustration with the guy that threw the sandwich. He almost got a felony, but some cooler heads prevailed. But that shows you the frustration, though.
Yeah, and I was seeing some reporting where the grand juries in D.C. are refusing to indict any of these people that the Trump administration is arresting on these trumped up charges. So I mean, there's grand jury resistance. It seems like, which is promising.
Mm-hmm. And that's important. I mean, we still, as they like to remind us, that we're a nation of laws or whatever. We're more than laws, people, but still. as we see, I mean, what we're going to be talking about in on Sunday speaks to us having to come out. When we think about what's going on at the CDC right now, there's massive rallies going behind Trump's administration. Or, to be fair, it's RFK rather, that's responsible for that in many respects. People are coming out against that. We're talking about people coming out in New York. They're blowing up things. I mean, people have finally decided, okay, we can't just let this keep going. We can't.
I think the mass resignations by those scientists at the CDC, that kind of resistance is really important too. That kind of protest where they're just like, there was one of the scientists I've heard interviewed, and he was like, I can't put my name on this. I had to resign.
Right, exactly. I mean, people. I mean, even if the administration that they're working under is out of their freaking mind, doesn't mean that they have to. And I'll be fair. There's a lot of and I'm saying this just to be fair. There are a lot of conservatives, a lot of Republicans that are also thinking the same way. You put us in this freaking position, but let's not. And I'm not even just talking about you supporting Trump, because the fact of the matter is, as a Republican, as a conservative, you created this monster. You have been always trying to create this monster. The monster is here, and you're shocked. I mean, I have to remind you. It just has to be a reminder that we have been warning about this since, good grief, for years. I mean, ever since the civil rights movement, we've been saying that this was going to come. They was working towards this.
I think there's been a struggle against this monster since the colonizers.
I'll be right back. No, go ahead and speak. I just got to get me something to drink.
Sure. One of the things that came up this week, like thinking about protests, I teach high school students, and I was saying to a friend of mine, when I was in school, we were taught we have First Amendment rights, we have freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of protest, and we should be out there asserting our rights. And we can speak, we can protest, but it feels really irresponsible to me in some ways to teach my kids that right now without saying you're taking a risk, by being out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you can give everybody all that kind of education, tell them, you got to do this and you got to do that. You do have to be prepared for what is going to go down. But it will go down even harder if you don't.
We have to. We may still have that moment to turn this ship around.
Yeah.
Right.
And we will. I'll be perfectly honest with you. We will. I don't like the cost. I don't like what it's gonna mean. But because people are gonna get hurt.
We're gonna have an America like we've never had before.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get closer to that idea of this interracial democracy for all Americans, where people have what they need and are cared for and respected. I think we'll get closer than ever.
Yeah, but we also have to be mindful that even amongst us, we're going to have idiots that are going to try to undermine that. We're always going to have people who are going to try to game the system for themselves and turn it into what it is we're fighting now. We got fascists within ourselves.
We do.
So, let's talk about what happened in Minneapolis. Because there's a lot that happened then that I guess speaks a lot to what we're talking about right now, even, because it's really not about Trump or anything, to be perfectly honest with you. It's really about his supporters and everybody that that are around him, really, because they decided. Normally, they don't talk about mass shootings. They ignore them. They generally because they just think that they're false flags that that the left try to use to take away our guns and all of that. Or when it's a racist idiot out there killing people, then they get mad because we're talking about it. But here we have someone who identified as female and who, incidentally, was just as fascist as any of them. That did this. And by the way, Minneapolis, much love to y'all. I think y'all been through the ringer for quite a bit for the past couple of years, and this ain't helping. And so our hearts are going out to y'all over this. I mean, incidentally, I mean, I really almost said hearts and prayers. So I mean, thoughts and prayers. I mean, because I wanted to bring that up because you know that we need to do more than thoughts and prayers. And people being, and people are ticked off whenever they hear that from our leaders and from our politicians, because it seems like it's just every time you hear that, it is brushing it under the rug, and sure enough, that's exactly what we've been seeing. But leave it to the MAGA crowd to start using it with this. They started to get mad because we got mad about people saying thoughts and prayers. I mean, I don't have the video up. I can get it up right quick. If you want to, first of all, we should talk about what went down this week. So while I'm getting that video, I'm gonna So the thing, Beth, did you want to say anything about all of this?
You know, it's hard to find words to talk about school shootings and church shootings, and I was thinking earlier a message to you. You know, we're 10 years from the Mother Emanuel mass shooting where 9 people died. So we've got 10 years now of people who are literally praying being gunned down, and our politicians can build a concentration camp in a swamp in 2 weeks, but we haven't been able to figure out how to protect people at church, at worship, at school, because they don't want to.
Right.
It's worth sacrificing some kids.
I want to play a little bit from the Minneapolis mayor. His name is Jacob Fry. He's the guy who knelt before the casket of George Floyd, which is sort of an infamous moment among people who watched this all go down years ago. And he took to the microphones just as we were coming on the air. Here's what he said.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families.
Unfortunately, we haven't been.
And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now.
That's what I was getting. I wanted to get at too. I mean,
I think the number I saw, like mass shooters,
Reagan. Thanks, Caroline. I have 2 questions for you. Sure. Democrats, including former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, attacked prayer and pushed gun control in the aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's response to their comments?
Yes, I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms. Psaki, and frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer.
I don't know how they identify.
Who believe that prayer works, and who believe that in a time of mourning like
flat
this,
out, and it was
when beautiful young children were killed
said,
while praying in a church, it's utterly disrespectful.
If the first thing that comes out of your mouth
deride
is
the power of
how
prayer
bad
in this
the trans
country,
community
and it's disrespectful to the millions of Americans of faith. And I would encourage
if you're just using it
Ms.
as
Psaki,
an
to pray for these
opportunity
families
to advance
themselves
your
who need it right now
bigoted
more than ever.
nonsense, you never really
Thanks,
gave a
Caroline.
shit
I have
about
2 questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats,
You don't care
including
about
former White House
this,
Press Secretary Jen
about what
Psaki
happened
and
to them
Minneapolis
children
Mayor Jacob
in
Frey
Minneapolis
attacked
or
prayer and
anywhere.
pushed gun control in the aftermath
You only
of
have your
yesterday's
agenda.
shooting.
You only
What's the White
have
House's response to their comments?
Yes, I saw
your
the comments
BS
of my
that keeps you
predecessor,
warm at
Ms.
night.
Psaki, and
So,
frankly, I
and
think
that's one of the
they're
things, one of the
incredibly
reasons
insensitive
why I have
and
to be perfectly
disrespectful
honest,
to
why
the tens
I'm
of millions
surprised
of
that we
Americans
don't
of faith
get
across this country who
as
believe in the
much
power of prayer,
pushback
who believe that prayer works, and who believe that in a time of
against
mourning
this
like
crowd
this,
to stop
when
them
beautiful
from
young
doing
children
this,
were killed while
doing
praying
this
in a
nonsense.
church,
You can sit there and say
it's utterly
they have their freedom of speech or whatever. So do you.
To
And you also
deride
have the ability, the right
the
to
power of prayer in this country, and it's disrespectful to the millions of
kick 'em to the
Americans
curb.
of faith. And I would encourage
And I
Ms.
think,
Psaki to pray for these families themselves who need it right now more than ever. Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats, including former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, attacked prayer and pushed gun control in the aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's response to their comments?
because
Yes, I saw
they
the comments
don't,
of
like I
my
said before, they
predecessor,
don't
Ms.
want to talk
Psaki,
about that.
and
Because,
frankly,
oops,
I
did
think
we
they're
just go away? Okay, come back.
incredibly
So-
insensitive and
I was working on
disrespectful
something
to
there.
the tens of
And
millions
I
of
can't switch
Americans
back
of faith
over to,
across this country
okay,
who
so
believe in the power of prayer.
The video that
who
I want to
believe
put
that
up, I
prayer
can't
works,
really.
and who believe that in
oh,
a time
I
of
can do
mourning
it, I
like
can do it.
this,
But
when beautiful young children were killed while
but I
praying
think
in a church,
the frustrating
it's
thing
utterly
is
disrespectful.
we cannot.
to deride
they don't
the
want to
power
talk
of
about
prayer
it
in this
because
country, and it's disrespectful
makes
to the
them the
millions
bad
of
guys.
Americans of faith.
and
And
they
I would
always
encourage
will
Ms.
avoid
Psaki
anything that
to
makes
pray
them
for
look
these
like the
families
bad guys.
themselves who need it
And
right now more
yet
than
do everything they can
ever. Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have 2 questions
to
for
be
you.
the bad
Democrats,
guys.
including former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, attacked prayer and pushed gun control in the aftermath
Reagan.
of yesterday's shooting. Thanks, Caroline. I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Their comments.
Yes, I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms. Psaki, and frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of
I never
millions of
thought about
Americans of
that.
faith across this country
never
who
thought
believe
about
in the
that,
power
but,
of prayer, who believe
that's
that prayer
Ameri- that's
works,
a,
and who believe that in a time of mourning like this, when beautiful young children
I guess
were killed while
that's
praying in a church, it's utterly
rabbit hole I'm not ready to
disrespectful
jump into.
to
Really not.
deride the power of prayer in this country, and it's disrespectful to the millions of Americans of faith. And I would encourage Ms. Psaki to pray for these families themselves who need
Incidentally,
it right
I
now
mean,
more
this is
than ever.
this is the video I wanted to show everybody here.
Thanks, Caroline. I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats,
Reagan.
including former White House. I have 2 questions.
Oh, I don't think
Sure.
I
Democrats,
can you hear? Is
Minneapolis
there any
Mayor, former White House
audio
Press
here?
Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey attacked prayer and pushed gun control in the aftermath of yesterday's shooting.
Yes, I
What's the
saw
White
the
House's
comments of
response
my
to their
predecessor,
comments?
Ms. Psaki. Yes, I saw
And,
the comments of my
frankly,
predecessor, Ms. Psaki. Incredibly insensitive, frankly, and disrespectful to incredibly insensitive millions of Americans.
Yeah, I just did that, but there's no
the
sound.
tens of
Of
millions
course.
of Americans.
Okay,
who
we won't
believe
worry
that
about
prayer
it.
works, and who believe that in a time of mourning like
but
this,
if you
when
see
beautiful
her
young
talking,
children were
just
killed while praying in a
just
church,
assume
it's
that it's
utterly
BS.
disrespectful
But-
to deride the power of prayer in this country, and it's disrespectful to the millions of Americans
about
of faith.
people getting, she
And
was
I
getting
would
angry
encourage
because everybody,
Ms. Psaki,
because
to pray for these families themselves
Jim
who need
Psaki,
it right now more than ever.
called out,
Reagan.
making
Thanks,
it just,
Caroline. I have 2
just
questions
saying,
for you. Sure. Democrats, including former
prayers,
White House Press
thoughts and
Secretary
prayers,
Jen Psaki
and
and
basically
Minneapolis
the,
Mayor Jacob Frey,
bare
attacked prayer and pushed
minimum
gun control in
of
the aftermath
anything.
of yesterday's
And
shooting.
she
What's the White
decides
House's response
that,
to their comments?
people pray in
Yes,
this
I saw the
country and
comments
all
of
of that
my
stuff.
predecessor,
Knock it
Ms.
off.
Psaki. And frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer, who believe that prayer works, and who believe that in a time of mourning like this, when beautiful young children were killed while praying in a church, it's utterly
Yeah, it was.
disrespectful.
I mean, and I like
to
that. I like that. And the truth of the matter
power
is,
of prayer in this country.
They
and
don't
it's
want to do
disrespectful to
anything.
the millions of Americans of faith. And I would
For
encourage
whatever reason.
Ms. Saki
And,
to pray for these families
but
themselves.
we're going to keep an eye on
who
this
need it
story.
right now more than
I mean,
ever.
there's a lot more that we should be talking about, especially
Reagan.
in regards
Thanks,
to
Caroline.
that.
I have two
The
questions for
nonsense
you.
that you're
Democrats,
using,
including former
trying to
White House
use
Press
this against the
Secretary
trans
Jen Psaki and
community.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Ray attacked prayer and pushed gun control in the aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's response to their comments?
Yes, I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms. Psaki, and frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer, who believe that prayer works, and who believe that in a time of mourning like this, when beautiful young children were killed while praying in a church, it's utterly disrespectful.
We're coming up. We're actually. I knew that there were some other things that we wanted to talk
the power of prayer
about
in this country, and it's disrespectful to the millions of Americans of faith.
But we're
And I
coming.
would
We're coming in
encourage
on
Ms. Psaki,
time. I mean, it's
to pray for these families
6:44 now.
themselves, who need it right now more than ever.
6:06.
Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats,
6:40.
including
Okay,
former White
good
House
work,
Press
guys.
Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob
But
Ray,
but like I said, we're
attacked
going to be
prayer and
we're going to be
pushed
back
gun
here
control in
on
the
Sunday. We're
aftermath
going to be a
of
little bit
yesterday's
longer.
shooting. What's the White
Just
House's
because of the
response to their comments?
Yes, I
subject,
saw the
but,
comments of my predecessor,
come and
Ms.
visit us
Psaki,
then.
and frankly, I think
And,
they're incredibly insensitive
and then
and
come back
disrespectful
here
to
on Friday.
the tens of millions of Americans of faith across
And,
this country who believe in the power of prayer,
we
who
will
believe that prayer works, and who
talk a
believe
little
that
bit
in a
more
time
about
of
what it
mourning
is.
like this, when
Oh,
beautiful young
what's
children were
Saturday?
killed while
no,
praying in
that's-
a church,
It's going to be
it's
after
utterly
after Labor
disrespectful,
Day, so our summer's going to be
deride
coming to an end.
the power of prayer in this
And,
country.
we don't
and
have-
it's disrespectful to the millions
we
of
got some-
Americans
we
of
got
faith.
some,
and I would encourage
guests
Ms.
planned
Psaki
for next week,
to
but
pray for these families
as the
themselves,
way as we've
who
seen,
need
we
it
pretty
right
much
now more than ever. Reagan.
have to
Thanks,
see
Caroline.
what
I have two
a week
questions
is
for
going to
you.
make us talk
Democrats,
about.
including former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Ray, attacked prayer and pushed gun
Go ahead,
control
do
in the
that.
aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's response to their comments?
Yes, I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms. Psaki, and frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer, who believe
Yes.
that prayer works, and who believe that in a time of mourning like this, when beautiful young children were killed while praying in a church, it's utterly disrespectful to deride the power of prayer in this country, and it's disrespectful to the millions of Americans of faith. And I would encourage Ms. Psaki to pray for these families themselves, who need it right now more than ever. Reagan.
All the more
Thanks,
reason
Caroline.
why
I have two
you got to
questions
stop
for you.
saying this is not our
Democrats,
fight.
including former White House Press
It's
Secretary
all the reason
Jen
why you
Psaki
got to
and
be out
Minneapolis
there.
Mayor
And if you
Jacob Ray
can't be out
attacked
there,
prayer and
if you
pushed
can't
gun
be out
control in the
there,
aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's
help
response
two
to their
people that
comments?
can.
Yes, I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms.
There are
Psaki,
ways that
and,
we're going to be able
frankly,
to beat
I
this
think
back.
they're
It's going to be
incredibly
interesting. I mean, even
insensitive
for those
and
who just think that
disrespectful to
I mean,
the tens of
voting
millions
is going
of
to be
Americans
fun,
of faith across
but
this country
I'm
who
a poll
believe in the
worker,
power of
so
prayer,
I still believe
who
in
believe that
at
prayer
least,
works, and who believe that in a
much
time
in
of
the
mourning
system.
like this,
But the
when
truth of the
beautiful
matter
young
is,
children were killed
you
while
gotta be
praying in a
prepared when
church, it's utterly
disrespectful
disrespectful to
fails ya.
deride
But
the power of
but
prayer
people
in
want
this
to vote.
country.
People are going to
and
vote.
it's disrespectful to the
and
millions
they're
of Americans
gonna,
of faith.
and
I would
hopefully
encourage
it looks
Ms.
good
Psaki
for
to pray for these families
this
themselves,
year.
who
the
need
three,
it right now
the three
more than
main.
ever. Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats, including
races
former
that
White
you're
House Press
talking about.
Secretary Jen
Well,
Psaki
actually,
and
there's some more
Minneapolis
that have been
Mayor
added
Jacob Ray
because New
attacked
York
prayer
looks
and
like they're
pushed
going to
gun
get
control
Madonna.
in the aftermath
Jersey
of yesterday's shooting.
looks like
What's the White
they're
House's
going to get
response to their comments?
Yes, I saw the comments
Cheryl,
of my predecessor, Ms. Psaki,
and
frankly,
Virginia
I think they're
looks like
incredibly insensitive.
they're going to get
and
their
disrespectful
Democratic. I mean, I
to
forgot her name.
the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power
she looks
of prayer.
like she's going to be the governor
who
there.
believe that prayer works.
Good possibility
and who
that
believe in a time of
Minneapolis is
mourning
going to
like
have
this, when beautiful young
Omar
children were
Fatal,
killed while praying in a church,
regardless
it's
of
utterly
the
disrespectful
establishment they're trying to go after
to
him.
deride
and since
the power
Texas
of prayer
decided
in
they
this
want to
country,
try
and it's
to
disrespectful
gain
to the millions of Americans of faith. And I would encourage Ms. Saki to pray for these families themselves who need it right now more than ever.
It looks like that
Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions for
California
you.
is going to thwart them by
former White House
counter,
Press Secretary
and
Jen
probably
Psaki
some other
and
states
Minneapolis
as well.
Mayor Jacob Frey attacked prayer and pushed
We'll
gun
see
control
what happens
in the
with that
aftermath
one.
of yesterday's shooting.
Bottom line
What's
is,
the White House's response
people are
to
going to
their
be
comments?
fighting back.
Yes,
And
I
people
saw
are
the
gonna
comments of
not
my
just fight back, they're
predecessor,
gonna
Ms.
win.
Saki, and frankly, I think they're
Yeah.
incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of
And
millions
the
of Americans of
100%
faith across
thing
this
that they
country
got,
who
people
believe
have
in
got
the
to
power
do
of prayer,
is that
who
they got to
believe that
vote
prayer
for
works, and who
those.
believe
If
that
we're
in
going
a
that
time
route,
of mourning like this,
support,
when beautiful
vote,
young children
and
were killed
support
while praying in
people
a church,
who are working
it's utterly
towards making sure
disrespectful
that this BS doesn't
to
happen again.
deride,
You know what I've been saying? I mean,
the
I don't
power
care
of
whether
prayer
or
in
not
this country, and it's
you can
disrespectful
or
to the
cannot
millions
do
of
it or
Americans
whatever.
of faith. And
Because
I would
we'll figure it
encourage
out. There's a
Ms.
lot of things
Saki,
going on
to pray
right
for
now
these
that
families themselves
Trump
who
shouldn't
need
have
it
been allowed
right
to
now
do.
more than ever.
So I'm basically saying that,
Reagan.
one of the things
Thanks,
that
Caroline. I have two questions for you.
Yeah.
Democrats, including former White House Press Secretary
I think that
Jen
we need to
Psaki
reverse
and Minneapolis
his
Mayor Jacob Frey
pardons.
attacked prayer and pushed gun
That's the
control in
truth
the
of that.
aftermath of
That
yesterday's shooting.
we have to
What's the White
reverse
House's
his,
response to their comments?
Yes, I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms. Saki, and frankly, I think they're
and by the
incredibly
way,
insensitive and disrespectful
if
to
you do not
the
feel
tens
that
of
can
millions
work,
of Americans of
that
faith
will
across
happen,
this country who
or
believe
we
in the
can
power
do
of
that,
prayer,
all
who
the
believe that prayer
more
works,
reason
and who
why
believe that
we
in a
can't
time of
trust
mourning
this
like this,
system.
when beautiful young children were
There's
killed
something
while
new
praying
coming.
in a church,
Like
it's
Beth
utterly
was saying earlier.
disrespectful
Something's
to
going to have to.
deride
If this
the
cannot,
power of prayer in this country.
If we're
and
living
it's
in a
disrespectful to
society
the
that
millions of
cannot
Americans
deal
of faith.
with
And I would encourage
a
Ms. Saki to pray for
Muslim
these families
mayor
themselves
of New
who
York,
need it right now
then
more than ever.
it's not a system that I
Reagan.
Thanks,
want to
Caroline.
live in.
I have two questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats, including former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, attacked prayer and pushed gun control in the aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's response to their comments?
Exactly.
Yes, I saw the comments of my
and I want to send
predecessor,
love. I want to send
Ms.
love to
Psaki.
folks.
And frankly, I
in
think they're
New Orleans because
incredibly
it's hard to
insensitive
believe that
and
it's been
disrespectful
20 years
to
since Katrina.
the tens of millions of Americans of
And,
faith across this
I
country
think
who
for
believe in
a
the
lot of
power
people,
of prayer,
everybody
who
likes
believe
to
that
point
prayer works,
to,
and who believe that in a time of mourning like this, when beautiful young children were
January-
killed while
not
praying in a
January,
church, it's
September
utterly
11th
disrespectful
a
to
watershed
deride
moment
the
in
power
our
of prayer
history
in this
of how
country,
we
and
are
it's
going to
disrespectful
deal
to
with
the
each
millions
other
of Americans
in
of
the
faith.
future.
And I would encourage
Katrina did
Ms.
that.
Saki to pray for these families themselves.
I'm going to
who
say
need
straight
it
up,
right
that
now
I
more
think
than ever.
that was the time. That was when everybody
Reagan.
realized
Thanks, Caroline. I have two
that
questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats, including
it's
former
all
White
on
House Press
us to
Secretary
do what we
Jen
need to
Psaki
do.
and Minneapolis
And
Mayor
that's how-
Jacob Frey
and that's how
attacked prayer
Obama
and
got
pushed
in,
gun
and
control
that's
in the
really
aftermath of
got,
yesterday's shooting. What's the White
caused the
House's
battle.
response
Even
to
if you're
their
not a big
comments?
fan of
Yes,
Obama,
I saw the
after
comments of
Obama
my
came in, then it
predecessor,
was time
Ms.
to
Psaki,
basically
and,
fight because these
frankly, I
guys,
think
because the
they're
right wingers
incredibly insensitive and
of this
disrespectful
generation
to
realized that they
the
were the
tens
ones
of
that allowed
millions
that
of
to happen.
Americans
That's
of
why they
faith
call
across
him
this
the
country who
worst
believe in the power of prayer,
president
who believe
of
that prayer works, and who believe that in a time of mourning like
because,
this, when beautiful young children were
was
killed
a black
while
one.
praying in a church,
That
it's
generation
utterly
allowed that to
disrespectful,
happen, and they are never going to let that happen again.
deride
But
the
it's
power
not
of prayer
their
in this
choice.
country, and it's disrespectful to the millions of Americans
It's
of
not their
faith.
choice. We have, and by
I
the way,
would
we have a few
encourage
Democrats out
Ms.
there that
Psaki,
are also saying
to pray for these
I deal with
families
them
themselves
online all
who
the
need
time.
it right now
They
more
see
than ever. Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two
Newsom
questions
out
for
of
you. Democrats, including former White House Press Secretary
out
Jen
of,
Psaki and Minneapolis
California,
Mayor Jacob Frey,
and saying
attacked
he
prayer
has to
and
have a
pushed gun
white
control in the
male
aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's
running
response
mate.
to their
Otherwise,
comments?
it's not going to work.
Yes,
I mean,
I saw the comments of
it's
my
only going to piss off
predecessor,
people if
Ms.
they got
Saki,
if it's a
and,
woman or a
frankly,
black
I
woman
think
or
they're
both. It's just going to piss
incredibly
people off.
insensitive
It's like,
and
well, piss 'em off.
disrespectful to the tens of millions
Piss
of
'em off.
Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer, who believe that prayer works, and
So
who believe that
everybody,
that in a
I just
time
want
of
to say
mourning
take care.
like this,
All right, you
when
see the
beautiful young children were killed while
GoFundMe,
praying in a church, It's
link
utterly
has been sitting up there
disrespectful
for much of the
deride
show,
the power
and
of prayer in this
we
country,
are
and it's
also,
disrespectful to the millions of Americans
still
of faith.
trying
And
to
I
get
would encourage Ms. Saki to pray for these families
still
themselves,
trying to raise money.
who need it right now.
We're
more
trying
than
to
ever.
make sure that everything is taken care of
Thanks, Caroline.
by the
I have
end
two
of
questions for you.
September.
Democrats, including former
we
White House
are
Press Secretary
well,
Jen Psaki and
well
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Ray
ahead of
attacked prayer and pushed gun
schedule.
control in the
But I
aftermath
want to make
of
sure
yesterday's shooting.
that we do
What's the White House's
and
response
we don't
to
go
their
through this
comments?
nonsense again.
Yes, I saw the
So,
comments of my
and
predecessor,
again, I want to thank everybody
Ms. Saki,
that has been
and,
helping out. And
frankly,
been,
I think they're
putting it out
incredibly
there
insensitive
for us
and disrespectful to the tens of millions
so,
of Americans of faith
and also
across
you
this
can
country
also,
who believe in the power
go
of
to
prayer, who believe that prayer
onepeoplesproject.com
works, and who believe that in a time
donate,
of mourning like
and
this,
you can do that way
when
as
beautiful
well.
young children were killed while
but,
praying in a church,
we're gonna,
it's
and you can
utterly
also find us online. I
disrespectful,
mean, on there's a whole bunch of things that are going
deride
on in the next couple of
the power of prayer in this country,
days to
and
weeks,
it's disrespectful to
where
the
you
millions
can
of
be a
Americans
part
of faith.
of all the work
And
that
I would
we've been putting
encourage
in.
Ms.
And
Saki to pray
here,
for these families themselves,
Substack.
who need it
And-
right now more than ever.
And I'm gonna let Beth take that one.
Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions for you.
Sure.
Democrats, including former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Ray, attacked prayer and pushed gun control in the aftermath of yesterday's shooting. What's the White House's response to their comments?
Yes, I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms. Saki, and frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer.
And again, thank
who
you,
believe
everybody.
that prayer works,
We're going to be
and who
back on
believe that
Sunday,
in a time
6
of
o'clock.
mourning like this,
Come
when
back up here.
beautiful
We're
young
going to have the
children
link
were
in a few
killed
minutes.
while praying in a church.
But
it's utterly
take
disrespectful.
care, y'all. Thank you for
deride
dealing with us over the
the
beginning
power
of this,
prayer in
and
this country, and it's disrespectful to the millions.
you
of
got it.
Americans
We're
of
good.
faith.
We're happy.
And I would encourage
Take
Ms.
care, out,
Saki
everyone.
to
Peace.
pray for these families themselves.